Well, hey there. This is going to be a little demo vid of my own on doing solo Vorago with Necromancy. I've only just learned it and I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but this is going to be a normal mode solo. I have it set to Scopulus week because it's by far the easiest. So let's take a look at it and see how I do. You can see right out the gate, I like to tag him so I can not only get the death mark down, but also start building some sort of basic bone stacks on him. It helps a lot because his defense is so high. And then you just got to run up, do the cliff run in order to get the weapon piece. I find that it's easier to stay up here until his health is pretty low before grabbing the weapon piece. He just seems to fire less red bombs. I don't know if I'm just crazy or if that's like a real thing. But so I get up here, I start just laying into him with, your basics, your autos. I don't really have a lot of adrenaline because I opt to use Transfigure on my drop down. Just, it's easier, it's cleaner than trying to time the Vitality Potion perfectly, tick perfectly. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but I don't really mind just taking my time up here, working them over slowly bit by bit. I don't really go for fast kills, especially while I'm still learning. They can range anywhere from like a 940 is my personal best to fuck, I fucked that up. You can see I did too much damage and I procced death mark, so that kind of sucks. But my kills range anywhere from about 940, 10 minute to about 12 minutes. Kind of depends on how P5 goes. Sometimes I'm pushing for a long time. But I have to heal up to not get killed by that. So that was a bad P1. This probably isn't good for a demo vid, but this is bad at bossing after all, and I am bad at bossing. So, that was a pretty shoddy P1. But what are you gonna do? We're gonna drop down. We're gonna summon everybody. They always despawn, even if they hadn't already, they would have despawned off the bat because that's just how it works on the phase transitions. You always lose your conjures. We're just gonna clear bleed. Pretty easy to do. Oh no, I timed that poorly. This is a bad kill. I'm never gonna get how do I clear this. I've been trying to get that one for so long and I always screw it up. So we're gonna just count the autos. Alright. I would just do that for fun of it. That's where it is it's the thing. Oh, here it is. So he's gonna red bomb. We're gonna run from that. This is a very bad kill. Use freedom because I missed that. I usually like to do surge, dive, surge, freedom, but again, I kind of messed it up a lot. This is pretty good though. He's not too he's fairly close to 30k without resetting. So I like to keep him at about 40, 50 before I go into this mechanic because then I can just apply Death Mark and drop him before he can attack after the Pete comes loose. And if he's under 30k when you go into that mechanic, you can't what do you call it? You can't if you Death Mark him, he's going to heal and he's going to get back to 80k, which is annoying. So we'll Death Mark now, and then we'll just Adrenaline Dump. Blow, skulls, finger bang again, and that should do it. Yep, and then you can see, boom, phase is over before he even stood back up. I try not to run around a whole lot during the jumps, just because, you tend to run into him. So next is Scope. It's the easiest rotation by far, both the easiest P3, P4, and a very easy P5. So you'll just, I like to drop down, do my usual summons. I don't invoke here just because I'm going to do that after. And then you kite these guys around the room while tanking the bombs. It's pretty easy to do. You know, once if you're here, if you're at Vorago, you probably know how to kite already. Yeah, just keep doing that. So then all death mark, thread, drop everything on them. Gotta watch out because my Hellhound is low, but it should be fine. We'll pop a devotion in there, and then we'll just finish off the scops. So they're both death marks, so they'll both die at 30k, and that's the phase. Again, very easy, probably the easiest one to learn, bar none. You know, and then scopes on P4, you just get a red bomb because he can't do scopes on P4. It makes it very easy just because P4 is basically your sort of forced tanking section because you can't really do anything to speed it up. I don't summon on drop down here. There's no point because he goes right to the waterfall. So I'll just drop. I'll throw up my prism just to keep my Hellhound alive. Get in the waterfall, wait a couple seconds, and then I start to do all the conjures. Again, you're not really rushing here. You don't have to go crazy. You don't need to do a Dren dump. Just you know, build basic abilities. This is probably the easiest phase to learn, especially again if you're on Scop week. I like to get out of that blue bomb, intercept that blue bomb, and then he's going to do a few more autos. There we go. Leads again. Let's see if I can not screw them up this time. Come on, buddy. I don't know what just happened. I completely fucked that up. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Oh man, that was bad. So I'm fine, which thankfully it wasn't at the end of the phase. Do that. Rezo. Nope. Okay. Reflect. And we just stay off. You don't want to get hit. I like to stay out of combat if I can. It makes reconjures easier. You gotta spam click over here because your conjures try to attack Vorago and it completely fucks you up. It can make you stall your movement. Reconjure, Lord of Bones, and then this you do the same thing that you just did, except maybe don't fuck up the bleeds like I did. I'll play it a little safer this time because now I know I don't have the sign to fall back on if I screw up. I'll just repot now. So I'm going to do here what I did on P2, where I'm going to let him kind of reset. And then I'm going to do a decent amount of damage here. I completely forgot to pray against that blue bomb. So do that. And then I'm going to dismiss my conjures. Heal up a little bit. That just to stay in combat. So I mean, your most deaths here at Vorago are not because, say, like you ran out of food, but it's usually just because you either screw up a mechanic or you fail on P5, which can be annoying. I mean, this is one of the easier P5s for sure. Probably the easiest P5 actually is Scop and the end purple bomb. As long as you don't, I walk right into that. Fuck. As long as you don't, what do you call it? Screw up the bleeds, you're usually fine. I have, you know, sometimes you screw up the bleed, and that you know, that completely screws you up. If you get too far back and you can't clear them, you know, you find you have a bad time. Is what I'm getting at. So I'll drop down. I don't living death right away because he's going to go into reflect shortly after 5 auto attacks. He's going to do it now. So we're just going to do that. Yep, there we go. So we just kind of wait. Punch. There we go. Usually you can find that pretty good. I'm chancing it here, using skulls before he. See, fucking God, I hate that. This one will clear with freedom, and then we should be good on the third one. Yeah, there we go. All right. And barring something really bad happening, I should have this. I should get this no problem at this point, I think. There we go. We got it. Clean. That was a pretty clean P5. So this took me like 11 minutes, 10:30 maybe, something like that. A little slow. Again, I'm not the fastest, but compared to 2 months ago when I did the Masterwork Stab video, we've figured out Solo Vorago. So that was how I do it. If you got any tips or comments you want to leave, maybe tell me how I can improve or be less shit at the game. It was a very dirty kill, but I got it. Thanks for watching.